After starting the season in Shanghai, the 2016 Hyundai World Cup Tour shifted to South America for Stage 2. Colombia is a hotbed for world archery. Cuba, Bolivia, Chile, Ecuador, El Salvador, all coming to Colombia, giving this tour stop a true Latin American flavor.
I'm Jake Kaminsky with the USA Archery team. The basics of a recurve bow are the limbs, the riser, and the string. A recurve bow works by storing energy. When I pull back the bow, the limbs will flex and store energy so that when I let go, it pushes the arrow forward. These are stabilizers on the bow, and this actually helps me hold still. I aim with my sight pin, which is attached to my sight, which is adjustable depending on what distance I'm shooting. Other accessories that I use on my recurve bow are a clicker. In my case, it's micro adjustable, the arrow rest, which holds the arrow, and the plunger button, which the arrow rests against. This is the finger tab. It helps protect my fingers against the string. I hold onto it like so, and then I hook onto the string with my fingers. These are modern day competition arrows. These happen to be Easton X10s, which are made of aluminum, carbon fiber, and tungsten. They're also barreled in the middle, which means that it's thicker in the middle than it is on the ends, which decreases aerodynamic drag and increases accuracy. These arrows fly approximately 210 feet per second or 160 miles an hour. The modern day recurve is very similar to old longbows, other than there's now using space age materials such as aluminum and carbon fiber. What makes the recurve bow different and why I like it is that it is much more challenging in that you have to shoot the arrows. The bow does not do as much work for you. I love shooting my recurve bow, and you will too, so go visit your local archery range and have a go at it.
Brazil would have a go at it in the mixed team bronze medal match with Chinese Taipei. This would be Brazil's first appearance on the international scene in almost 2 years. The first since Marcos D'Almeida won the silver medal at the World Cup finals in Lausanne. Now he was teaming up with Marcel dos Santos, and the two were in dire straits, down 4-0. The 22-year-old dos Santos began what she hoped would be a comeback bid. And that seemed even more possible when Marcos planted one in the middle. The two from Taipei unfazed. First, it's Tan for 10. Tan Ting doing her thing with strong support from Wei Chun Heng. Back to dos Santos now, who can spare a dime. Her next arrow's just inside the line. Brazil still on life support, but for how long? D'Almeida's 9 might mean it's time to pull the plug on Brazil's hopes. There's just a faint pulse left after Tan Ting rings up another 10, leaving it to Mr. Wei to put his opponents away. 2 direct hits back-to-back put Chinese Taipei back in the winner's circle. Wei and Tan getting the job done in straight sets, a 6-0 clean sweep for the mixed team bronze medal. My name is Marcos D'Almeida. I'm a professional archer, and I'm at the second stage of the Hyundai Archery World Cup Tour. The most important part of my technique is my anchor point. When I arrive here to my nose, I need to feel that it's right in the center. If it's in the center, I know that I'm aligned properly to make good shots, normally close to the 10 or a 10. So this is where my confidence comes from. Always aiming, always being aligned here at my nose and releasing it well. That's the best shot for me. I chose that form because it's the one that I saw that worked better during my training. And it's the one I can repeat most easily, so it's the best I could find. Sometimes when I shoot a 7 or 8, it's likely because I didn't have good movement, or I lost tension, or the anchor was not correct, or I was not aiming in the 10. But normally, if I have a good line, it'll be close to the center.
Mas normalmente quando encaixa certinho uma boa linha, vai perto do centro. Quando eu tô atirando, eu
When
não
I'm
penso
shooting,
nisso,
I'm
eu
not
acho que é
thinking about
automático.
doing it.
Em
It's
competição,
automatic
só
in
nos treinos eu
competition.
penso pra
I only
aperfeiçoar
think about
essa
it during
parte.
training to make
Mas
it
em
better.
competição,
During competition,
não é
I
pensar em
try
nada,
not to
só
think
deixar o
about
corpo
anything.
agir.
Just let my body flow.
Ninguém é igual a
No
ninguém.
two archers are the
Então, é
same,
muito
so it's
difícil
difficult
uma
for
pessoa
someone
conseguir
to
repetir o
repeat
que eu
this in
faço.
exactly the same way.
Então, acho que primeiro
The
ela
most
tem que se
important thing
conhecer,
is to know
pra ela saber
yourself,
o
so
que é
you can
melhor pra
understand
ela,
what's best
porque
for
às
you,
vezes
what you
isso não vai
need.
ser um ponto bom pra
Sometimes
ela.
what's good for
Esse eu
me
achei
is not good for
com muito
you.
treino, muitas
You need
horas
to
de
do a lot
treino,
of
então acho
training
que a pessoa
and
tem
find
que
out what
treinar
works
e
best
achar
for you.
a própria dela, a assinatura dela.
In the run-up to the mixed team gold medal match, Korea had dropped just one set to Guatemala. The USA and Brazil couldn't lay a glove on Chae Mi-sun and Kim Woo-jin, both ranked number 1 in the world in men's and women's recurve. The final obstacle for the dynamic duo, Japan. Kawanaka Kaori and Kikuchi Hideki had taken down Chinese Taipei and had the talent to tangle with Korea. And in fact, they actually split the second set with Miss Chae and Mr. Kim. So it's Korea leading 3-1 to start set 3. Kawanaka Kaori will come close with her shot. Kikuchi Hideki, not so much. That's an open invitation for the king and queen of recurve. Kim Woo-jin had won a pair of team gold medals on his last visit to Medellin, not to mention a world championship and a World Cup title in between trips to Colombia. Chae Mi-sun had also won gold in Mexico City last fall, so when opportunity came knocking, they were ready, taking a 2-point edge in the set. A set that appeared to be slipping away from Japan after that 9, and then a what in the world happened shot that wound up in Ecuador? That too spelled doom for Japan, ending all hope of winning the set and tying the match. Kim Woo-jin sensing it was time to put Japan out of its misery. Yet another dead-on shot followed by a solid effort by Chae Mi-sun, signaling it was sunset for the team from the land of the rising sun. The outcome, far from unexpected, the only surprise that Korea would split a set and surrender a single point en route to the mixed team gold medal. It's the third time that we are shooting together as a team. Anytime that one of us makes a mistake, the other's there to cover for that mistake. It's been a while since we've tried to win a mixed team gold medal, and we made it. Mr. Kikuchi did not have much time to put the past in the past. He'd have to forget about the shot that got away from him in mixed team play and focus on the future. His chance for redemption could come in the men's bronze medal match, but that would mean getting the best of Koo Ban-chan, another stallion in the Korean stable. Mr. Koo, part of the Olympic team heading for Rio, a man who once defeated Kim Woo-jin for a gold medal in Shanghai. Locked in a battle at 3-all, Koo Ban-chan would come out swinging in the fourth set. Kikuchi's counterpunch left him trailing by 1, which did not seem disastrous after a 9 by the Korean. However, an 8 did seem disastrous. That flyer combined with another Koo connection left Kikuchi behind the 8 ball. So this arrow, academic. The set had already been decided, and Koo Ban-chan had bolted back into the lead, holding a 5-3 advantage going into the 5th set. Mr. Kikuchi had won a gold medal at Stage 1 in Shanghai 2 years ago, but hadn't reached the podium since that day in 2014. By all logic, he'd need more 10s to catch Mr. Koo and force a shoot-off, which seemed less likely with each direct hit by Koo, despite Kikuchi's best efforts. No, the Korean had him on the ropes and was looking to land the knockout punch. The Japanese archer fought the good fight, forcing this match to go the full 5. But perfection's tough to beat. Koo Ban-chan put a bunch of arrows in just about the same spot, the sweet spot. 3 straight 10s to run the table in the 5th and deciding set to end the match and bring another medal back home to Korea. In all honesty, a Korean team comprised of Koo Ban-chan, Kim Woo-jin, and Lee Sung-yeon seems basically unbeatable. They hold 3 of the top 5 spots in the world rankings, so for the most part, it's not a matter of winning, it's more a question of the margin of victory. Mexico's reward for beating Spain, Colombia, and the USA, getting to play the sacrificial lambs in the men's team gold medal match. With all due respect to Serrano, Boardman, and Zamora, who would give 100%, their chances appeared slim and none. Still, Korea did lose to the Americans at the last Olympics, so there's always the possibility. Juan Rene had to have something to believe in after Korea captured the first 2 sets, but Mexico's prospects just didn't seem all that promising after an 8, followed by a 5, followed by a 9 from Ernesto Boardman. Not exactly the stuff comebacks are made of. But in all fairness, who's even in the same league with the men who can consistently do this over and over and over again? Mexico may have been overmatched, but then again, who isn't? Shooting 8s is the same as bringing a knife to a gunfight. A 9 here or there? Well, a 9's just not enough to be competitive. Korea occasionally showed signs of being human, but when that happened, Koo Ban-chan would come along to clean things up. So what if Mr. Lee strayed from the path on the final shot of the match? The set and the match already belong to Korea. Anyone still need convincing that Korea's the team to beat in Rio? It could happen, but after 2012 in London, you can bet these men will be on high alert when they reach Brazil. It's more meaningful for me because it's our first World Cup with this team, and it's also my comeback to the World Cup circuit after 2 years. I was very nervous, but my teammates encouraged me, and we succeeded. My name is Kibo Bae from Team Korea. I think most people know me after the London Olympics. Basically, archery is a sport of balance. I think the balance is the most important thing from the moment I lift the bow until the moment I shoot the arrow. I feel that both of my arms are falling off. From running to weightlifting, it's important to reach that level of physical condition. That's the most important thing for me. The Korean women just as successful. Jae-mi-sun, #1 in the world. Kibo Bae, #2 in the world. Chung Hae-jin, #8 in the world. So would China have any better chance than the Mexican men? China's best archer came to Colombia ranked 11th in the standings. It's a tough job, but somebody had to do it. Stop me if you've heard this one before. Korea's leading by 4 after 2 sets. But give China credit. They were trying to put up a fight. At least there was a 10 sandwiched in between the 2 8s. But China was swimming upstream. Chung Hae-jin kept her last shot in the gold rings. Jae-mi-sun did even better. And Kibo Bae put the finishing touches on another Korean clean sweep. Winning never gets old, but more to the point, these international events serve as tune-ups for the Koreans as they prepare for another trip to South America later this summer. In the process of preparing for the Olympics, this was an opportunity for us to practice our teamwork. And we had great results and we gained confidence. Now we'll practice even more for the Olympics. The hits just kept on coming. And once again, China's Wu Jiajin would be on the receiving end. Based on the fact she'd beaten Kibo Bay during elimination rounds and taken down Tan Ya-Ting, some would say she had a chance against Korea's Chae Sun. And on paper, she did. You never know, and that's why we play the game. But once again, she got to the shooting line on the big stage, and all those theories went right out the window. Down by a score of, yes, 4-0, Wu Jiajin would sink even lower with a 7. At the same time, Chae Sun stayed strong, stayed focused. So, when Miss Wu answered with a 9 of her own, Ms. Chae simply matched the shot and maintained a 2-point cushion with 1 arrow to go. Give credit where credit's due. Wu Jiajin put her last shot in the 10 ring, but by then, it was the same old song of too little, too late. Korea continues to dominate stage 2. When it comes to recurve, it's a nation of archers who are seemingly untouchable. Chae Sun picks up her 3rd gold medal in Medellin, blanking Wu Jiajin 6-0 in straight sets. I'm really happy to win my first international tournament, and I would love to take the opportunity to achieve the same goal in the Olympics. I'll try to do my best to achieve this. Hi, my name is Jessica Camilo. I'm from the Dominican Republic, and winning the Olympic spot for my country has been a big privilege. My name is Oscar Ticas from El Salvador. Winning the Olympic place for my country is very important. We have had 2 Olympiads without attending the Games, so it's a big blessing to arrive and win the spot here in Medellin. Hi, I'm Guillermo Aguilar from Chile. It's an honor for me to win a spot for the Olympic Games for my country. This is the first time in our history a man has qualified, so I'm happy. Aside from being here competing against people I've known for a long time, I've had a great training program, and I came here to do the best I could, and thank God I won the spot. The selection process we will have now is a qualifying tournament in our country, which includes 2 stages. The qualification is a 72-arrow ranking round, and then eliminations. Depending on how many archers have the minimum requirements to compete, we will shoot more than 1 match. Our preparation will start in Turkey, and whoever qualifies, well, we're not sure if we'll go to a training camp, or Rio, or if we'll just prepare in Chile. To achieve the minimum qualifying standards, I've spoken to my country's Olympic Committee, and we've agreed that I'll compete at the Pan American Championships in Costa Rica, and I think Turkey, and have a better training plan as well. My preparation for the Olympic Games, once I finish this Archery World Cup, will take me to the Pan Americans in Costa Rica. Then I will prepare to go to Antalya, and then I think I will go to Rio to prepare there prior to the Games. It would be incredible to represent my country at the Olympics for the first time ever. Canada and Spain, both countries will be competing in Rio, and they got a chance to prepare even more on Recurve Sunday in Medellin in the men's team bronze medal match. It was a familiar story with the Spaniards dominating, getting off to a 4-point lead after winning the opening sets. Brandon Schwereb was battling the winds as the 3rd set began, his arrow drifting left. The big, strong Hamilton Nguyen brought it back towards the center, and when Crispin Duenas delivered, Canada seemed to be back in business. But they were doing business with Miguel Alvarinho, the World Cup final gold medalist from last fall in Mexico City. The Spaniards did hit some rough spots, an 8 from Pifare and another off the bow of Rodriguez. Canada had a 1-point lead midway through a set they just could not lose. It appeared they wouldn't after one of Brandon's better shots, but everything changed as the wind suddenly picked up. Nguyen's next arrow disappearing from sight. A costly miss even Crispin could not make up the difference for. With the Canadians paving the way to victory for Spain, Alvarinho and company just had to be solid, not spectacular. Pifare slipped him a Mickey, so Juan Rodriguez needed to score just 1 point to put the match away. He took no chances. The higher-seeded team, 6th-ranked Spain, able to hold off Canada in straight sets, but will always be left to wonder what might have happened were it not for a sudden burst of wind. Miguel Alvarinho had a bit of an advantage going into the men's gold medal match. He'd been on the shooting line already and had a feel for the lay of the land and how the wind might be blowing. But this would be Brady Ellison's first time shooting in this venue, which varied quite a bit from the practice range. Still, he'd already gotten past some major hurdles, and during his decorated career, there isn't much the American had not encountered. The same holds true for Coach Mel Nichols, Brady's longtime mentor, who helped guide Ellison to a 4-point lead after the first 2 sets. Of course, Brady was also getting a lot of moral support from the grandstands and his new bride, Toya Ellison. Would all of that be enough to subdue the man who'd upset top seed Kim Woo-jin, Alvarinho, taking a stab at a comeback, while Brady was doing his very best to shut and lock the door?
There you go. That's a full shaft, that's 6. Good shot.
The Spaniard stayed the course. Alvarinho coming through with another solid effort. But Ellison was doing his best to hold him off. He gave no ground on his second shot of the set. In fact, he appeared to be primed to wrap up these proceedings after Alvarinho veered up into the red zone. But as we've seen so many times before, one low score is often followed by another. Instead of clinching the set and dispatching Alvarinho, the two split the points and the score goes to 5-1. There would be a 4th set after all, and Alvarinho would have new life. After wins over Jingyu and Kikuchi Hideki, he had the confidence to make a comeback. But it would be a big hill to climb here in the Andes Mountains of Colombia. The would-be rally started inauspiciously with a 9, sending a signal to Ellison that it was time for him to pounce, which is exactly what the 3-time World Cup winner did on his opening shot of the set. X marks the spot for Brady and sets the bar higher for Alvarinho, who drifted higher with his second shot. That arrow putting him on a precarious perch. Ellison, not quite as precise on the next arrow, but fully aware he had some room to work with. Miguel wanted to make Brady have to work harder for the gold medal, but an 8 was all that was required to land Ellison back atop the podium. Forget about the 8. 9 was more than enough for America's best, who's building momentum for Brazil with victories like this. A 7-1 win over Miguel Alvarinho, the man right behind Brady in the world rankings, and that bodes well for what lies ahead in Turkey and then Rio.
Shot well here. It feels good to be back. I feel like I'm shooting very good this year in general, and really looking forward to the games. You know, I'm shooting the best I've ever shot, shooting scores that haven't been shot in a long time, and it makes me excited. I'm only getting better. I feel like every tournament's a little bit better, you know, a little more consistent in the few changes I've made, and really looking forward to Turkey, the rest of our trials processes in a couple of weeks, and then ultimately the games.
As we bid Medellin a fond farewell, let's update the standings. First in women's recurve, Tan Yating holding a 14-point lead over a pair of Koreans, including Stage 2 gold medalist Chae Mi-sun. Keep an eye on Italy's Gwendolina Sartori, who challenged Tan Yating in Medellin and came away with 15 points, good for 7th place in the World Cup rankings. On the men's side, we have a new leader, Brady Ellison, taking over the top spot from Stage 1 winner Chef Vandenberg. We'll see where things stand after Stage 3 next month in Antalya, where we'll have all the live shot-by-shot coverage on Archery TV. Till then, adios from Colombia.
Wow.